Cans of Cuban cigars and Cuban rum. You can now buy them from any country and bring them into the U.S. legally. President Obama lifted the ban last month. It's another step taken to ease the tensions between the two nations, which for years were closed off from one another.
News 4's Jen Shahn spoke to a Cuban-born Western New Yorker and Customs and Border Protection about these changes. Jen?
Well, Jackie and Don, U.S. Customs and Border Protection regularly seized illegal Cuban goods. Now they don't have to. They're gearing up for an influx of Cuban rum and cigars. Cuban-born Rene de la Pedraja says this lifted ban is about more than just cigars and spirits, though. It's symbolic. Rene de la Pedraja has fond memories of Cuba. He left when he was just 11, using a tourist visa to get to the States and then never returning.
I think I was more in a revolution than my parents were there. I think that was one reason they left Cuba there.
For years, famous goods of his homeland, rum and cigars, were unattainable for American tourists because of a U.S. embargo against the communist-run nation. In October, President Obama eased up on the Cuban goods ban, but only for personal quantities.
Now they can actually come from any country. So, for example, in the Buffalo Niagara region, if you travel into Canada and happen to purchase certain Cuban goods like cigars or rum, they're now under your exemptions coming back into the United States.
You can now bring up to a liter of Cuban rum and 100 Cuban cigars into the U.S. without paying duties.
It will certainly help Cuba develop more and expand its tourism. There's no doubt about it there.
De la Pedraja, who is also a professor at Canisius, feels this is yet another step towards neutralizing relations, something he badly wants. He was also pleased with President Obama's allowance of Cuban medicine to enter the U.S., something being taken advantage of right here in Western New York by the Roswell Park Cancer Institute. A Cuban lung cancer vaccine is being brought to Roswell for testing.
We work very closely with FDA, and that coordination takes place, at the border.
In fact, FDA agents work on site. They're needed as FDA-approved pharmaceuticals from Cuba make their way into the country. Well, keep in mind, Cuban goods still must be declared, and if you have more than the limit of 1 liter and 100 cigars, you can still bring your personal goods in. You'll just need to pay duties on them. Commercial quantities, though, are still not allowed. Live in the studio tonight, Jen Shahn, News 4 at 6.